Hello, 5510, and welcome back to our Read Aloud. Today, thankfully, it's really nice out, so I got a chance to ride my bike, and now I am in a park. I'm not going to tell you which one. I'm going to give you the opportunity to guess. I can show you a little bit behind me. I don't know if you'll know what park this is or where I am, but it's really beautiful. I'm alone, don't worry, I'm practicing social isolation, so no one's near me, and I even wiped down the bench before I sat down, so just making sure that I'm staying safe. I even wiped down my bike before I rode it here, so should be good and nice and safe. So this is our second day of our Read Aloud, and we are reading Home of the Brave again by Catherine Applegate. And we last left off by getting to meet our main character a little bit, which was Keck, and learn a little bit about how he has taken in the new place that he's going to for the first time. If you watched The Lost Boys of Sudan, you know a little bit about Keck's experience coming to America for the first time, and if you haven't yet watched it, I suggest you go back and take a look. So let's get into it. If you're following along with me, if you were able to get the book either digitally or you were able to get a physical copy, I'm on page 17, and the name of the chapter is called Welcome to Minnesota. Welcome to Minnesota. It's growing dark when I say goodbye to the cow, and we go back to the car and drive again. At last we park before a brown building. Taller than trees, its window eyes weep yellow light. Under a street lamp, children throw white balls at the not dead trees. Snowballs, Dave explains. A smiling girl throws one of the balls at Dave's car. He shakes his head. Welcome to Minnesota, he says. We climb out of the car. The snowball girl's face is red and her long brown hair is wet. Hi, she says. I'm Hannah. You the new kid? I'm not sure of the answer, so I make my shoulders go up and down. Catch, she says, and she throws a cold white ball to me. It falls apart in my hand. I follow Dave across the noisy snow. 2 times I slip and fall. 2 times I rise, pants wet, knees burning. Take it slow, buddy, Dave says. Tears trace my cheeks like tiny knives. I look away so Dave will not see my shame. How can I trust a place where even the ground plays tricks? Inside, we climb up many stairs. We walk down a long hall, passing door after door. Dave knocks on one of them, and behind it I hear the muffled voices of the past. So here's our first opportunity in this chapter, in this section, for you to stop and participate in a stop and jot. For those of you who are just now starting this, you're just going to open up the document that was shared with you, and you can type the page and just your response to the question. Question is, what does Keck mean when he says he can't trust the place because the ground plays tricks? What do you think Keck means that the ground plays tricks? We know grounds don't actually play tricks, so what is he meaning by this? What is the author trying to show us here? You can pause the video, or you can just mute it and respond, or respond later. You can go back to it. Actually, maybe muting it might not be a great idea, because then you'll miss the next page. So probably pause it, respond, and then press play when you're ready. Much time has come and gone, but still I know the worn gray voice of my mother's sister, Natal. I hear another voice too, the sound of a young man, a strong man. The door opens, and my old life is waiting on the other side. You're going to hear some vocabulary come up in the next few chapters. You will hear the word reedy, R-E-E-D-Y, if you want to look up what that means. You'll hear the word glance. You will hear the word optimist. And you'll hear the word dunes, Dunes. So if those are words that you're unfamiliar with, you should look them up and make sure you're keeping track of them in your journal. The next chapter is called Family. I'm on page 20 now. Family. I'm hugged and kissed, and there is much welcoming from my aunt. She's rounder than I remember, with a moon face to match, her black eyes set deep. My cousin Gonmore shakes my hand. I have learned about shaking hands. At the camp, they taught us how. Be firm, but do not squeeze too hard. Still, Gonmore grasps my hand. We are like two calves in the clouds, pretending we know how to fly. The man's voice belongs to Gonmore. He has my father's height now. Though Gonmore is thin and reedy, where my father was sturdy with strength. His eyes are wary and smart. Always taking the measures of a person, 6 long scars line his forehead, the marks of manhood. I watched Gonmore and my brother receive in our village ceremony. How jealous I had been that day, too young for such an honor. I try hard not to look at another scar, the place where Gonmore's left hand should be. Round and bare and waiting like an ugly question no one can answer. The night Gonmore lost his hand was the night I lost my father and brother. The night of men in the sky with guns. The night of earth opened up like a black pit and swallowed my old life whole. My aunt holds my face in her hands and I see that she's crying. Here is your next stop and jot. What type of emotions might Keck be going through seeing his aunt and Gonmore? I don't know if you just heard someone was screaming running past. Anyway, I'm going to repeat that because a little friend was running past yelling. What type of emotions might Keck be going through seeing his aunt and Gonmore? Why do you think he is feeling this way? So think about Keck's arriving in this country. It's his first time he's been here. He's in this foreign place, Minnesota. He's seeing weather for the first time. And then all of a sudden he's having this rush of emotion seeing his family members for the very first time in such a long, long, long time. How do you think he's feeling? What emotions would you call that and why? Pause and start when you're ready. I know her to be a woman of many sorrows, carved down to a sharp stone by her luckless life. She isn't like my mother, whose laughter is like bubbling water from a deep spring. I look into her eyes and then my tears come hard and fast, not for her, not for my cousin, not even for myself, but because when I look there, I see my mother's eyes looking back at me. So Keck just talked about this a little bit, but quickly in your notes, jot to yourself, I'm on page 22 now, jot to yourself, what's making Keck cry and why? Why is he crying? We have 2 more chapters. The next chapter is called Lessons. I'll let you get settled, Dave says, but first I'll give you some lessons. Your aunt and your cousin know these things, but you'll need to know them too. Number 1, he says, always lock your door. Gonmore, show Keck what the key looks like. In my old home, my real home, my father kept us safe. We had no need for locks. Number 2, he says. He pushes the tiny stick on the wall and the room turns to night. Then blinks awake. In my old home, my real home, the sun gave us light and the stars watched us sleep. This thermostat, Dave says, helps keep you warm. He pretends to shiver to paint a picture of his words. In my home, my old home, my real home, we were a family and our laughter kept us warm. We didn't need a magic switch on a wall. I nod and say yes. I understand, but I wonder if I will ever understand, even if Dave stands here pointing and talking forever. Our last chapter for today is called Goodbyes. I'll be going now, Dave says, but I'll see you tomorrow. I smile and show my thinking. Remember that this'll take time, he says. It isn't easy to make such a big change. Things are different here. In my camp, I say, they called America heaven on earth. They say many things in the camp, Gonmore says. You'll see how wrong they are. Dave shakes his finger at Gonmore. You behaving lately, buddy? He asks with a smile. My aunt answers when Gonmore doesn't. He had another fight last week. Gonmore looks at the ceiling. At least I won. I'll talk to your counselor at school, Dave says. I wonder from his sound if he has said these words before. Gonmore and I will go to school together? I ask with hope. No, Dave says. Gonmore's in the 11th grade, and you will be in the 5th grade. He pats my back. Keck, if you need anything, have your aunt get in touch with me. I'm always here to help. I will be. Okay. I will be okay, I say, using my best English words. Soon, I will make snowballs. I make a big grin so that my new friend Dave will not worry. And, there's still more. I wonder if he can tell it is a pretending smile. Keck, my aunt says, he's a good boy. He will try hard to make his new life work. I can hear her struggle to find the English words just like I do. My aunt glances at Gonmore. You'll see, Dave. Keck finds sun when the sky is dark. Ah, says Dave, an optimist. I look away. I cannot find any sun today, I think. Dave shakes my hand, and when the door closes behind him, I'm surprised that I feel afraid a little bit. Dave isn't like my father, not at all, but it's been good to have someone watching over me, even for just a while. It's been a long time since I've known that feeling, like a soft blanket on a night when the wind howls. And if I were with you, I'm going to say it anyway, until next time. So that's where we're going to stop today. I stopped for those following along on page 28. We'll pick back up on tomorrow's read. Your stop and jot for the end of those two chapters says Keck is going to learn all about his new home. Draw a T-chart in your notebook, or you can make a chart however you want, or you can just make a bulleted list with a title. Draw a T-chart or bulleted list and jot down things you hear that describe Keck's old home on one side and his new home on the other. So it's a little bit of a compare and contrast. How is his old home and his new home different? All right, friends. Thank you for joining me today, and stay tuned for tomorrow's reading of Home of the Brave. Bye.